Imagine a mountain that lays eggs. Not a myth, not a story. A real cliff in China where giant stone spheres push their way out of the rock every few decades. What's behind this geological miracle? Let's find out. In the misty mountains of southern China, there's a place that seems to defy the laws of nature. Tucked away deep in the Guizhou province lies a cliff that, according to locals, lays eggs. That's right. Every few decades, large, perfectly rounded stones seem to emerge from the rock face itself, detaching and falling to the ground below. No creatures, no machinery, just a mountain, producing eggs made of stone. For centuries, the people of a small village nearby have watched this strange phenomenon with awe. They call the cliff Chandanya, which translates literally to the egg-producing cliff. To them, it's not just a curiosity, it's sacred. They believe the mountain is alive, that it gives birth to these smooth oval stones as gifts to the world. This remarkable cliff stands near the Shui ethnic village of Gulujai in the Chenanbuye and Miao Autonomous Prefecture of Guizhou. The village itself is small and remote, surrounded by lush forests and mist-shrouded hills. Every family here owns at least one of the mountain's stone eggs. The villagers treat them as symbols of luck, protection, and fertility. When a new egg falls, it's considered a blessing, a sign that the mountain is still alive and watching over them. The cliff itself isn't particularly large, just a few dozen meters across. But what happens there has puzzled both locals and scientists alike. From its steep gray surface, clusters of stone eggs can be seen embedded like half-buried fossils. They vary in size, some small enough to hold in your hands, others as heavy as a man. And every so often, roughly once every 30 years the villagers say, one of these stone eggs loosens from the rock and tumbles down, landing with a dull thud at the mountain's base. So how does a mountain lay eggs? To understand that, we have to travel back in time, not decades or centuries, but hundreds of millions of years. Around 500 million years ago, this part of China wasn't mountainous at all. It was part of a vast, shallow sea. Over time, layers of sediment, mud, lime, sand, and tiny shells settled on the ocean floor. As the weight of new layers pressed down, these sediments hardened into rock. Within those layers, something remarkable was happening on a microscopic scale. Minerals like calcium carbonate and silica began to crystallize around small particles, perhaps a shell fragment or a bit of organic matter. Over millions of years, these minerals built up, forming compact, rounded lumps known as concretions. Think of them as nature's version of pearls, hard spheres forming quietly in soft layers of stone. As eons passed, tectonic forces pushed the seabed upward, folding it into mountains and cliffs. The softer layers of rock began to erode under wind and rain, but the concretions, being harder and denser, resisted. Eventually, as the softer rock wore away, the concretions began to appear, half buried in the cliffside. To a geologist, it's a simple case of differential erosion. The soft matrix crumbles, the hard nodules remain, and gravity does the rest. But to the people of Gulujai, what they see is something more poetic, a mountain giving birth to stone life. Even so, not everything about this cliff is completely understood. While similar rock formations exist elsewhere, like the Moeraki boulders in New Zealand or the Cannonball concretions in North Dakota, few behave quite like this one. The stones here are unusually smooth and consistently egg-shaped, and they seem to detach from the cliff with uncanny regularity. Scientists suspect that the local climate and composition of the rock may contribute to this pattern, but the exact mechanism remains unproven. The legend of the egg-laying mountain has existed for as long as anyone in the village can remember. Stories are passed down about ancestors who saw the mountain's first eggs fall, about eggs that rolled mysteriously uphill or glowed in the moonlight. Of course, these are myths, but myths often carry a deeper truth. They reveal how people have tried to make sense of natural wonders long before science had words for them. Today, the egg-producing cliff attracts curious visitors and scientists alike. Tourists travel from faraway cities to see the mysterious stones, to hold them, and to take pictures with what locals call the eggs of the earth. Some even take them home as souvenirs, though this practice threatens to deplete the very phenomenon that makes the place special. For the Shui people, though, the eggs aren't just rocks. They're part of a relationship between humans and nature, between myth and geology, between the past and the present. The mountain's eggs are tokens of patience, shaped not in years or centuries, but in the deep time of the planet itself. And so, every generation, when a new egg detaches from the cliff and rolls down to the valley floor, the villagers celebrate quietly. They see it as proof that the world still moves, that life, in whatever form, continues. Perhaps that's why the story of this mountain endures. It bridges two ways of seeing, one scientific, one spiritual. It reminds us that nature's mysteries don't always need to be magical to inspire wonder. Sometimes, the truth, formed over hundreds of millions of years beneath ancient seas, is wondrous enough. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more incredible tales of our planet's hidden wonders.